Daf Yomi, Tractate Zevachim, page 66a, top of the page. Ein Sarich lehavdil. Omer le'eravach, omer le'eravashi, el'mi'atek ha'bebo, dichsiv v'lo yechasenu, ha'chanami didn't say l'chazot. It means that the priest does not have to separate it, but not that it is prohibited to do so. Rav Acha, son of Rava, said to Rav Ashi, if that is so, then with regard to a pit in the public domain where it is written, and if a man shall open a pit and does not cover it, Exodus 21:33, can one claim that this verse also means that he does not have to cover it? Hachi hashta hasam kevan nechsiv babal abal yishalim ilaveu dirame lechasoye aval achamechdi ketiv v'hikrivo Chalak hakatuv ben chatat ha'ov le'olat ha'ov. The Gemara responds, how can these cases be compared? There, with regard to a pit, since it is written in the following verse, the owner of the pit shall pay, Exodus 21:34, it is evident that it is incumbent upon him to cover the pit. But here, since it is written with regard to a bird, burnt offering, and the priest shall bring it to the altar, Leviticus 1:15, the term it indicates that the verse is referring only to a burnt offering, and the verse has thereby differentiated between a bird sin offering and a bird burnt offering. Lo yavdil lamali shmamina ein tzarich leavdil. Consequently, it is obvious that whereas the priest must completely separate the head of a bird burnt offering, this is not the halacha with regard to a sin offering. Why do I need the verse to state with regard to a bird sin offering, but shall not separate it? Leviticus 5:8 concludes from this verse that it is not forbidden to separate the head of a bird sin offering from the body, but rather one does not have to separate it. Mitzah dam haguf. Okay, we The Mishnah teaches that if the priest squeezed out the blood of the head and did not squeeze out the blood of the body, it is disqualified. If he squeezed out the blood of the body and did not squeeze out the blood of the head, the offering is valid. The sages taught in a Braita, in reference to a bird burnt offering, the verse states, seemingly unnecessarily, it is a burnt offering. Leviticus 1:17, this teaches that even though the priest squeezed out the blood of the body and did not squeeze out the blood of the head, it is valid. One might have thought that if the priest squeezed out the blood of the head and did not squeeze out the blood of the body, the offering is still valid. Therefore, the verse states it is. Ma Talmuda Amravina Mistavra Darov Damim Beguf Shchichi Hadran Alach Kache Kadashi. Okay, we finished the 6th parak of Zevachim, which is called Kache Kadashi. I'll say the English first, and then we'll finish off this thing. And we don't have much left of the Amud. Okay, good. Nice. The Gemara asks, what is the biblical derivation for the opinion that the offering is valid if the priest squeezed out only the blood of the body, but not if he squeezed out only the blood of the head? Ravina said, there is no conclusive proof from the language of the verse itself, but it stands to reason that this is the case, as most of the blood is found in the body, not the head. Hadran alach Kachi Gedashim, we shall return to you, God willing, Kachi Gedashim. And this concludes the 6th chapter of Tractate Zevachim. We now go on to the 7th chapter of Zevachim, which is called Chatat Ha'ov. The Mishnah says, Chatat Ha'ov, which means sacrificed a bird sin offering. Chatat Ha'ov she'asa lemata k'maseh chatas. If the priest sacrificed a bird sin offering in its designated place below the red line, and he sacrificed it according to the procedure of a sin offering with pinching, meaning cutting from the nape with the fingernail and sprinkling, and he sacrificed it for the sake of a sin offering, offering is fit. This is the manner in which a priest is to sacrifice a sin offering ab initio, which means l'chatchila. K'maaseh chatas l'shem oila, k'maaseh oila l'shem chatas, k'maaseh oila l'shem oila, pesula asa lemala, k'maaseh kulam pesula. If the priest sacrificed the bird sin offering below the red line in the middle of the altar and according to the procedure of a sin offering, but he sacrificed it for the sake of a burnt offering, or he sacrificed it according to the procedure of a burnt offering, even if he sacrificed it for the sake of a sin offering, or if he sacrificed it according to the procedure of a burnt offering for the sake of a burnt offering, in all these cases, the sin offering is disqualified. If one sacrificed a bird sin offering above the red line according to the procedure of any of the offerings, it is disqualified because he did not sacrifice it in its designated place. Ola ta'o shasa limala, k'maaseh ola l'shem ola k'sheiro, k'maaseh ola l'shem chatas k'sheiro, bidvad shelo os onta levailo baleho. A bird burnt offering that one sacrificed in its designated place above the red line, according to the procedure of a burnt offering, and for the sake of a burnt offering, is fit. This is the manner in which a priest is to sacrifice a burnt offering ab initio. If he sacrificed a burnt offering above the red line, according to the procedure of the burnt offering, but not the sake of a sin offering, the offering is fit. But if he did not satisfy the obligation, it did not satisfy the obligation of its owner. I don't understand what it means. Throughout all these times when it says it's fit, what does it mean it's fit? If it doesn't satisfy the obligation, then to me that's not fit. But anyway, they say it's fit. They say it's fit, but it doesn't satisfy the obligation. Okay, maybe it's fit to eat. Maybe. If the priest sacrificed a bird burnt offering according to the procedure of a sin offering for the sake of a burnt offering, or according to the procedure of a sin offering for the sake of a sin offering, the offering is disqualified. If he sacrificed it below the red line, according to the procedure of any of the offerings, it is disqualified because he did not sacrifice it in its designated place. This concludes the Mishnah, and the next Amid will start the Talmud, God willing, when we return.